First, this man shook down Disney. Next, he's taking on the NHL. Man after my own heart right there. NHL backtracks after DeSantis alleges discrimination in minority-only hockey event. Hey man, guess what? That racism street, as much as they don't want to admit it, it runs both ways, okay? If you're going to call for a minority-only hockey event, you got to understand, you can't spell honky without hockey, so you better start inviting them over. National Hockey League has reacted to allegations of discrimination from the office of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis by backtracking on some of the eligibility criteria for its job fair. Oh, this was a little bit more than just goofy ass hockey event. Okay, this was a job fair to work for the NHL. No, sorry, no whites allowed. A spokesperson for the NHL told the Epoch Times that the event, the Pathway to Hockey Summit, is now open to anyone 18 years or older. Wow, that's so nice. And the original wording for the LinkedIn announcement on the event was not accurate. See, Ron DeSantis, once again, like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out. You push back against these goofy weirdos, okay? You push back against them, okay? Whenever they're doing some fuck shit off to the side, you just tell them. You call them out on that nonsense, okay? And if you have a little bit of power behind you, if you have a little bit of a voice, this is exactly what the leftists have been doing with all of your favorite institutions for a long old time, okay? They think if they can get just a couple of different people to just foist some of their stupid opinions on there, oh my god, we don't want to lose anybody. Oh my god, we got all this hate coming this way. What's the worst that can happen, bro? They capitulate to the side that makes the most noise. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. I've said this before in a multitude of different arenas. The right needs to employ those tactics to show them that the new right, new conservatives, whatever the fuck you want to call this shit, we are not fucking around anymore. Use their tactics against them, okay? Because when push comes to shove, I'll take somebody on the right as opposed to anybody on the left, okay? Because they can't even figure out what fucking group they can put themselves in, as opposed to, you know, you get one of them big boys off to the side on the right. Yeah, trial by combat, I'm taking a conservative. Just saying. The NHL's post on LinkedIn, which has since been deleted, said that the event was limited to a narrow range of job seekers from a list of underrepresented communities. Well, if it's in Florida, there's a lot of trailer parks up there in the Panhandle. You could assume that it's probably, come on, you know exactly what this is. Participants, must be 18 years of older, based in the U.S. and identify as female, Black, Pacific, or Asian Pacific Islander. Oh, so what, the NHL, this is the last time we talked about them, regrettably. Fucking hate the NHL at this point in time. But I love that thumbnail, because, oh, I got to repurpose that once. Anyways, but no, they thought that trans women were women. It seems like they also agree that transracial blacks are black people, so NHL and their infinite wokeness has started to embrace the transracial ideology. You'll love to see it. Hispanic, indigenous, LGBTQ, one of the alphabet people, and or a person with a disability. Well, if you like hockey, you're kind of retarded. Veterans are also welcome and encouraged to attend. Only if you're 18 years of older, female or black. Women are the majority of people on Earth. I don't know how that's an underrepresented community, but you need more bitches in hockey so you can have some more, plug out more front offices. It's worked wonders for the NBA. Similar notice is still up on the University of Pennsylvania's career services pages, in which it describes the event as intended for diverse job seekers. Diversity! Seekers who are pursuing careers in hockey. Interested attendees would be given the opportunity to meet with recruiters. Then the event featuring guest speakers and panelists, a bunch of evil white males who are all a part of the all-time records lists. But they're all bad, and you need to come in. We need to diversify hockey to make it better and appeal to the 6 people that continue to watch this shit. Spokesperson for the event, was accosted by the governor's spokesman, Brian Griffin. Not that one. And said that this type of discriminatory job posting would not be tolerated in Florida and demanded the NHL fuck off and take your Yankee shit back up north. Immediately remove and denounce the discriminatory prohibitions it has imposed on the upcoming summit. Discrimination of any sort, there it is not welcome in the state of Florida. and we do not abide by the woke notion that discrimination should be overlooked if applied to a politically popular manner or against a politically unpopular demographic, i.e. white conservatives need not apply. Fuck you. That's racist. Can't do that shit. Hey man, another big W for old Ron. NHL appears to have taken the heed of DeSantis' warning. Yeah, exactly. They got a little bit of pushback. They got some institutional pushback this time, and it's like, what are you doing out here? No, we can't be having that. We're just trying to be the good people. Pathway to Hockey Summit is an informational and networking event. Yeah, the white people, you don't need that, right? You know, you guys don't need to networks. You just need to be poor and stupid and shut your fucking mouth. Because my historical impression, or oppression, not impression. You know, if we're relying on historical impressions about hockey, half the motherfuckers that you're trying to recruit for this event wouldn't have a goddamn thing about, you know, knife-footed stick wielders on ice. It's like, what the fuck's a puck? That's my cousin. New post on a new NHL post on LinkedIn about the event features language that mirrors the spokesperson's statement. All right. Griffin took to Twitter to share a report that the NHL had backtracked on its decision to restrict eligibility in the summit to select groups. Florida is where woke goes to die, Griffin commented. That was the statement at Ron DeSantis after his inauguration right at the beginning of this year, okay? It was well attended and it looked very presidential, perhaps a rumor of things to come, and especially when he starts to talk out about this stuff, going against institutions, because like it or not, you know, NHL is one of the big four sports organizations, okay? Definitely in the United States, it's number 4, okay, by a wide margin. Everything else, far more popular than that. Up here in Canada, yeah, it's a little bit more relevant. It's fucking everywhere, and it makes me sick to my stomach. And given the constant push towards diversity, like something that I used to like a lot, Canadian football, the CFL, what does every coach have to wear on the sidelines? I'm not making this shit up. Diversity is our strength. It's like, yeah, I see a lot of diversity along that offensive line. You know, all of those 6'6", 350 pounders. A lot of diversity. I don't see a lot of Asian midgets hiking the ball. Fucking mongoloids. Because all of these practices that were put in place for to so-called right historical wrongs, they're no longer necessary, okay? They might have been needed to begin with, okay, in order to give some people a leg up, but now they're being used and abused by ideologues. It's so fucking obvious at this point in time. And the major culprit in all of this stuff is Title IX, okay? Title IX basically handcuffs federally funded institutions in order to enforce a co-opted ideology. Let's just call it exactly what it is, okay? It was put in place to give equal opportunity to women in sports and universities, and now it's an anchor around the neck of so many middling colleges that are out there, okay? Yeah, we'd love to compete with the Alabamas, okay? The Ohio States, the Michigans that are out there, but we need to also have, you know, a women's fencing team to offset the baseball team. You can't compete because you need to start handing out all of that fucking free shit. It's not happening, okay? So when you see little victories like this, it's a sign of good things to come, especially if people adopt the policies, or if it's even the man himself, Ron DeSantis, running and securing positions of power in office, okay? Federal court in Oregon on Thursday upheld a Title IX exception that permits religious universities to receive federal funding even if they follow religious beliefs regarding marriage, sexual identity, and gender. Yes, stemming that fucking tide, okay? If you've got a Catholic university and they are actually Catholics instead of Joe Biden, fingers crossed, behind the back Catholic, yeah, abortions, man, Jesus was definitely pro-abortion, especially all the way into your 30s, man. If you want to get rid of something, just hang it up there, man. That's just the back of the book. You find the source there. A group of 40 of alphabet people filed the 2021 lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Education to seek an exception for a loophole. Wow, imagine that. The alphabet mafia, who probably wanted zero to fucking do with the religious school. We're not allowed to be in here. No, you're allowed to come in. Just, you know, hey. You guys seem to have a fast and loose interpretation of what you can identify as. So if you want to identify as a Catholic, come on in. No, but we want everybody else to agree with our fucking bullshit. No, it's like, no, okay. Oh, you don't actually want to be a part of something. You just want to tear it down and use the institutional structures that are put in place, and you're bastardizing its original attempt. Oh, okay, bet. Fuck off. You stay over there. And that's just what federal court in Oregon, of all places, just told you to do. You love to see it. But yes, they filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Education to challenge the exception or loophole in Title IX that permits religious colleges to seek exemptions from the civil rights law restricting against sex-based discrimination. Judge Ann Aiken of the U.S. District Court in the District of Oregon found that the loophole is one narrow exception to Title IX designated by Congress to safeguard institutions controlled by religious organizations and avoid interfering in their convictions that may conflict with their regulations. Cool. Now, if we could have a religion that's totally against groomers, like if we could just set up like an Islamic university with really high rooftops, could we do that? That'd be great. Abdul, get the rocks. That would be great. Could we do that? Exempting religiously controlled educational institutions from Title IX, and only to the extent of the particular application of Title IX, would not be consistent with the specific tenet of controlling religious organizations, is substantially related to the government's objective of accommodating religious exercise. Yay! LGBT group, the Religious Exemption Accountability Project. It's always this fucking accountability nonsense, which is just code word for it. We're just trying to blitzkrieg through the front doors, and why won't you let us, you fucking bigots? We want to change everything that you guys are about, but you won't let us, so we're just gonna go complain to the manager, you fucking gay Karens. Plaintiffs in the case argued the exception violated the students' equal protection under rights. See, they always try to couch themselves. They want to wrap themselves in the flag whenever it's appropriate for them. Otherwise, they just want to take it down, set it on fire, and then they would stupidly set it on fire and then try to stamp on it because they're not bright individuals. Argued, yes, under the Constitution by treating them differently than other students due to their sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity. No, you're just trying to foist everybody into your interpretation, your warped interpretation of reality, and they're just telling you, no, you can go to one of your gay universities over there, just fuck off, okay? You want to go pray to your, goofy multicolored flag? We'll just be over here, saying the name of the Lord. You can go fuck off. While the group made many claims of mistreatment at religious schools, could you point to anything? No. The judge found that the group failed to prove any discriminatory motivation by Congress in enacting the Title IX exemption in question. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So some people were mad at you, but can you point to anywhere in the law where that's my problem? No? All right. The court cannot conclude the plaintiff's assertions that Congress enacted the religious exemptions to permit discrimination based on sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity is sufficient. Aiken, an appointee of former President Bill Clinton. Wow. Holy. Also rejected their argument that the exception violated the First Amendment restriction on the establishment of religion by Congress. Yeah, you're not going to win that one yet, stating that they didn't prove the federal government, in contrast to the school, advanced religions. Right to freedom of assembly and association. Yep, if you want to have a bunch of Catholics, Christians, whatever the fuck the university wants to believe in. If they want to set up their own institution, feel free. And if they want to disclude you from that association, that is freedom of speech. It can't be the other way around. You can't foist your opinions on somebody else, okay? And expect them to take them wholesale. That's not how that shit works. You can say them, and they can choose to disregard them and send you on your way. U.S. Department of Justice defended the exception, but agreed that it potentially violates Title IX. It's called placating. They're just going to pat him on the head. Yeah, we side with the alphabet agenda. Don't worry about it, though. We'll do something about it in the future. But to be completely honest, I'd like to see Title IX used by the other side of the aisle continue to uphold these exemptions, okay? Because religion, let's keep it a buck, okay? Outside of Islam, the rest of them have been kind of bitched up. Because have you seen those pastors that are out there all dressed up in their finest female lingerie delivering sermons? You don't even have to go that serious. Last time I went to church, what would that have been? I think I can probably pinpoint it. Either 2018 or 2019 Christmas Mass. Okay. It was some bastardized version of it, like a Jordan Peterson speech or something like that. The pastor wasn't all that intelligent, really. So he was just trying to ape some of the mannerisms and some of the talking points that were on there. But realistically, organized religion, especially in the West, it's all about the abdication of responsibility of women and foisting everything onto men, okay? Men need to continue to bear the burden. Men need to right all the wrongs in the world, and the only reason that these hoes are out here running wild is because you made them that way. Now man up and wife up these hoes, because a good woman is under that 50 body count, and you're not man enough to drag out that feminine woman that's in there, okay? And you wonder why your pews are fucking empty all the time. Wow, imagine that. Men don't want to be told that they're shit because they don't want to take home the community bicycle. Big fucking shock. So now that you have this one victory that's out there, okay, if you can use it to make a better institution where you can hold out some of the woke elements that are out there, terrific, fantastic. Or if we can start reversing it, because you take a look at the enrollment numbers, 70% or 60% of enrollees, let's see if I get these numbers right, 60% of enrollees in college are women. 70% of the graduates with a master's degree or better are female, okay? There is a big discrepancy in kids going into higher education. Where's the Title IX running it back to making it equitable and diverse? Because guess what? Men are checking out of these institutions. And we see what happens when weak men start to enter the workforce. We get something that looks like the Religious Exemption Accountability Project. 40 fucking trust fund babies that have nothing better to do than to try to corrupt the remaining few elements that are pure in society. I would consider this to be a W. I would consider Florida pushing back against all of that discriminatory nonsense by the NHL to be a W. There's still some people out there trying to keep it $1.50, and you gotta give them their dues whenever you see it. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.